Welcome everyone. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We're going to do a deep dive into the trailer, talk about some of the interviews from the director Nomura, and uncover the secrets that lie in Rebirth. I think there's a lot we can theorize from this trailer and glean about what's coming. So let's hop into it.
The world's ending.
The world's ending. Then this is, of course, Elmira, Aerith's adoptive mother, talking.
At least that's what everyone's saying.
That's what everybody's saying.
This sky, I don't like it.
So this is really significant. This first quote, the world will be saved, but will you? And I feel like this is going to be really important for this character, Zack. Will he exist in the world that is saved? Like if he can save it, and like what is this rift in the sky? There's a lot of questions there. And I think like thematically, that is going to be really important, because looking at other characters also who sacrifice much in this story, if you think about the original, I think it's a pretty strong theme for the second game, right? I think it's a pretty strong theme. So there's a lot to unpack there, but let's continue on.
Ready to fire, sir.
This looks so good, man. And again, this is my theory on this is going to be the cap off of the opening of the game. We're going to get the CG recap, which is going to be like a little 5-minute mini movie recapping the whole first game. It's going to end with this. What's Shinra up to? Rufus is over here about to celebrate. He's testing out his new weapon. And by the time we get to Juneau, the city here, we're going to be doing the parade. But this could also just be at that point as well.
To the new world order.
This is him testing out the cannon, and just look at the scale, look at the size of it. So cool. And then of course this is us there going through the city. It looks amazing. It's gonna be awesome. Cloud disguised as a soldier. This is a mini game from the original game where you have to kind of pretend you're doing the parade to celebrate the new president getting chosen here. And yeah, it's crazy that they're putting in that level of detail. And they actually said there's more mini games than the original game, which is crazy, because that's one of the things they've never been able to top in Final Fantasy is the mini games. This damn game has everything from like snowboarding to a motorcycle sword slicing section of the game to like Rock'em Sock'em Robots to a basketball mini game. It's just, I can't even think of them all. There's so many mini games. Chocobo breeding, Chocobo racing, which is in this trailer, by the way. Like there's so much stuff. And he said like, oh, we've expanded. There's much more. Because when it comes to like graphical fidelity, that sort of stuff is really easy to program on the PS1 when it's Lego people, pretty much. On the PS5, it takes a long time to make one little tiny mini game. So let's check it out. Cinematography is glorious, Pez. Yeah, we talked about it a lot yesterday, but we'll certainly touch on it again. This looks to be maybe, is that Gongaga? I'm not sure what this is.
Just close your eyes and listen.
This is under Juneau.
Tell me you can't hear that.
Cosmo Canyon, man. Look at Cosmo Canyon. It's looking awesome. This is, if you guys don't know, that's Red's hometown. This awesome, like, lion-looking guy. He's the last of his species. And he is a really, really cool character. So I won't say too much. But his backstory is a real tearjerker. You guys are going to love it. I think it has one of the most emotional parts in the entire game, which is saying a lot considering what happens in this game. Yes, Alchemist makes a good point. I think the mini games are also what makes this damn game so memorable, because there's so many sections where you're like, there's a submarine like war in this game where you fight other submarines underwater. There's so much stuff that when you play it the first time, you're like, this is really special, which reminds me of Final Fantasy 16. Dude, fighting Titan, fighting Hugo, when you're like playing as a free and you're sliding all over the place and doing all this stuff, and then you're running up his arm, like those moments are so classic Final Fantasy to me. It's really cool to see them putting them in the new ones now. And I think they're kind of trying to, again, in the modern graphics era, find ways to do that sort of thing again, because it's got to be so expensive and difficult to do. But I think this is why I think they hired the Kingdom Hearts team to do parts of those battles, like the icon battles, they said. Yeah. Main stories for mini games for 60 hours. Yeah, Greg, it seems like it's going to be just that. Anyway, there's Tifa going crazy. Gotta love it.
Become our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters?
This to me is one of the most exciting parts. This is, of course, the flashback. And this is no doubt how the game is going to start. And this is why I think it really is going to be the best game. And I think it's going to like surpass the first one even more so with the story, because this is it, man. This is the stakes. So think about it. We just left Midgar. It's really the perfect Act 1, the first game. It's introduces you to the main cast, the main antagonist on the Shinra end, Sephiroth. But there's a lot of mystery around Sephiroth. Like, who is he? Why do we have to hunt him down? What is his plan? What is his grand design? We don't know yet. So what this is going to do is, especially for new players, you get to learn what happened with Sephiroth and Cloud. Like, what's going on? This beautiful flashback sequence. And as you can see here, this is a...
These monsters? Am I even human?
Yeah, you can see that's one of the scenes from that flashback. So it's going to be really interesting. Is this the best trailer you've seen from a video game in a while? I would have to say so, Noct. Yeah, I'd have to say so. Some of the 16 ones were very well edited, but I think as far as, you know, showing off the amount of variety that this shows off, and the characters and the gameplay and the mini games, that it was so stacked, as you can see. This game will explain who Sephiroth is. Yes, it will, Tatsu. Yes, it will. It's going to do a really good job explaining his backstory, what happened with him 5 years ago, what's going on. Some brand new attack animations, definitely. Yeah, Barrett's backstory too. Oh man, Barrett's backstory is kind of like a sleeper. Like, not enough people talk about it. I think it's going to be one of the most emotional stories. What happened to Barrett, man? Why does his daughter look like that? She doesn't look like him. What's going on? What's going on there? What happened to his arm? Why does Barrett have a gun for an arm? It's juicy. It's really good. And I think they are going to knock it out of the park, looking at what they did with part 1, making it so glorious. Yeah. Anyways, so Sephiroth, that's going to be great.
We're looking for Sephiroth.
Again, I said it 20 times yesterday, but like, look at the graphical fidelity on this. Like, it's unbelievable. It's madness. Yeah, and this is, of course, Ketchi.
Think you can find him?
Oh, Sephiroth. You see.
So you heeded the call too, did you?
What are you talking about?
There's the dune buggy. Yeah, like the vehicles that exist in this trailer. We've got, what, 2 or 3 vehicles in this trailer, not counting chocobos. Pure madness. The desert dune buggy is going to be tearing through the desert, jumping on this thing. Like, it's going to be crazy. And I mean, you can see like on the map here, it says like 900 meters traveled or something. Like, it's a big place. Definitely a big place. Yeah, Ketchi looks really good here. And I think they really nailed the character. I had warned that a lot of the voice acting in Advent Children, it was just a different era of voice acting. It was super early in kind of like anime dubs in America. Super early, you know, kind of relatively speaking. And back then, this is the same thing with Final Fantasy X. Look to the laughing scene in Final Fantasy X, right? They literally said, like, imitate the Japanese performance exactly, just in this language. Time it the same exact tone, sound as much like that guy as you can. We're going to cast people that sound exactly like there's just a totally different mindset. So in Advent Children, this guy, he's supposed to have this like awesome Scottish, Gaelic, Celtic accent, was just so like overblown and crazy. Like, you know, very I'm sure we got some eye rolls from people from that part of the world. This is awesome. This is like a little bit more subdued and yeah.
Sephiroth. You see.
So you heeded the call too, did you?
Like, there's a lot of tones in his did you? There's some nice tones there. Enjoy the fighting with Ketchi and OG. Yeah, I never really used them. Because I just love the other characters so much. I mean, my team was always, I think Cloud, Tifa, Vincent was always my go-to. Yuffie was always awesome. Barrett, Aerith. Yeah, there's just so many good characters. It's hard to choose, man. It's hard to choose. Just 3. But, speaking of choosing in this game, we're not really going to have to, because they've heavily hinted at character switching in this game. It's really just going to be like, you got your 3 that are in the battle, and you can just be like, tag in, switch people in and out. I really think that's going to happen. Kind of like Final Fantasy X. they seem to have kind of hinted at that. So that's gonna be really cool, and I do think that's gonna happen. Cloud, Tifa, Red. Yeah, I'd love to hear everybody's favorites. That's awesome. Probably going to be the same this time around. Yeah, don't blame me. Oh yeah, Red, of course. Red is awesome. Yeah. All right, let's see. So
What are you talking about?
the dune buggy looks awesome, and then there you go, man. Chocobos that can climb walls. It's so interesting because I remember on the last trailer, I was like, what are they gonna do to kind of bridge that gap with games like Tears of the Kingdom, Genshin Impact, where it's like this exploration is very vertical. Like there's a verticality to a lot of the designs. There you go. Have chocobos that can just scale walls like that. It's going to be so much fun. You also have the ones that can fly and everything. So I feel like, yeah, much like the original, you'll be able to kind of breed the ultimate chocobo eventually, maybe in this game or the third game, where it's like, I got one that can climb and fly and do whatever else, swim, and you'll be able to do just about anything. We don't have a confirmation FF10. That would be sick. Yeah, we don't have a confirmation, but we pretty much do. Because in the other battle scenes, you've seen the other characters like with their weapons, like standing in a ring around the outside of the battle. And it's like, now why would they do that? All right? Why would they be doing that if there's nothing like that? So no confirmation, but I think it's heavily implied. And if not, because it shows everybody on the world map with you. Like there was like 5 or 6 people on chocobos in that one shot. Like everybody's there. I guarantee, you know, right when the battle's over, you'll be able to obviously switch and not have to like go somewhere and do it or use the cell phone thing or whatever. Paul Tinto, yeah, can't just the guys on it. King Lear, damn, that's big. That's good. Shakespeare always great for performances. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful, man. Oh, I just realized it says glide, descend, or ascend. You really can fly with this thing. Whoa, you can ascend on the truck. I thought it was just like gonna be, you know, paraglider from Zelda. That's crazy. If you can just fly. Oh man, yeah, this is gonna go deeper than I thought. What does it say with the climbing one then?
As you can see,
I think it says dash. Is that what it says, guys? Dash. So that one, so you can just kind of go up.
brothers down there.
Playable Sid. Yeah, so Sid, of course, is the one they haven't showed yet. And we just got the smallest tease of Vincent in this one. So I do think that we are going to get a Sid trailer probably next. Good news is Nomura also said this trailer was for the general public. He's like, this was just to kind of like tell people about the game and drop the release date. He said there's going to be a trailer for us, like, you know, hardcore story fans coming out next. So it's probably going to be TGS. It's in like a few days, man. So we are eating good. And for people who would say, it's too much promotion, like the game's coming out kind of soon, man, only a few months. So we're still going to catch some within a region and then we'll summon that chocobo in the region. That would be awesome. That sounds amazing. I think Vincent's probably going to be on play. I don't know though. Yeah, I'd love to play him, so stuff. All right, let's take a look. So this is obviously been memed to high hell. This shot is so funny. It is Cloud on a Segway. He looks so funny. With the Buster Sword, which just makes it so funny. But this is exactly what I mean when FF7 has this just fun charm to it. Like, what is going on here? Obviously, Costa del Sol. Oh, man, the Segway memes are so funny, man. They're so funny. Actually, let me see. There was one in... Let me grab this. There's one in the Discord I was laughing so hard at. I think Aaliyah actually dropped it in there. Let me see. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah, I'm starting to see the memes. Okay. There it is. Yeah. So hold on. Let me show you. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Look at this. Yep. Classic Sephiroth. Gotta have longer sword. Do you think they'll do dual techs with Vincent enhanced ability trying? Dual techs. Oh, yes, Flop. I didn't even think about that. We got to talk about Vincent's dual tech. That's so funny, man. The Midgar Zalem one is from Resident Arc. Yeah. That's awesome. Anyways, yeah, this has been memed to high hell. It's so funny. But yeah, I guess another point here is that, oh my God, it says distance traveled 1,300 meters or something. Like, what? Madness. But, yeah, very accurate. You saw it on Facebook. Nice. So, it's been memed a lot, but it looks awesome at Costa del Sol. It looks like it over here because you have like some, looks like a bit of a village. I think there's like a welcome sign too if we go back to the first frame.
Having a little together.
Yeah, it looks great. But it looks huge is kind of my point. They really went all out, and that's the power of the PS5, man. It's really awesome to see. So it's just cool because, you know, in the first game, a lot of people, you know, have kind of had the thought of like, it'd be really cool. I wish they kind of opened up Midgar and you could go to every single sector of it and stuff. But it's like, yes, but also no. Like it doesn't serve the story. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would Cloud be running around the top plate? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. He's got a mission to do, and there's a lot of like high stakes stuff going on constantly. It doesn't make sense. You're just like, oh yeah, whatever, do whatever you want and stuff. So it's cool that in this, you're traveling on the journey, like hunting down Sephiroth. Like it makes sense that they would just be able to explore and have a little bit more openness to it. Cloud's skinny legs without the massive pants. Yeah, it's also really funny. But like, why? It's hilarious. I love it. Feels like it's not the same game because of the variety. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the strengths of the game. All right, let's continue on. So
They're our best
these are, of course, the remnants.
chance of finding.
And Ketchi is talking about that. Now, this is the scene where people have been trying to figure out. Nobody even knows who this guy is. I just saw something that's saying, we think this guy may be the doctor who helped out Tifa back in the day. As a doctor who appears in Traces of Two Pasts.
You're scaring me.
The timing. Thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you. But yeah, I think that could be really cool. It could be really cool and make sense for a little bit more Tifa backstory as well, and what's going on there. And he's talking. I actually don't think it's the mid-deal doctor. It could be. It could also be the mid-deal doctor, which would be cool because then he would have a little bit more screen time when he comes back later. It would make sense for like the live stream scene. But yeah, interesting, right? So there's another thing to discuss. I think that would make sense if it was her, or if it was him. And he seems to have a little bit of knowledge of what's going on, but not too much. Oh, he's the doctor in Coral. Okay, so I think it's that because right, we go there and this story, it makes sense.
Degradation.
So, anyways, let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that. But
Not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
love this too because they're really, really ramping up the sort of like gaslighting by Sephiroth in this, and the screwing with Cloud's mind. There's a huge insinuation on fact versus fiction, like what is true, what is not. And they've shown that he's going to be using the past to really try and confuse Cloud about particularly what happened with Tifa back 5 years ago. He's really going to try to confuse him about that and try to turn him against his own comrades, which I think is so smart and so cool. And that does partly happen in the original too, which makes sense. Yeah, that's my point with Mid-Deal is like so far out there in a different place of the world. It doesn't seem likely without an airship. This is, of course, the Midgar Zalem, which is the monstrous creature that you fight in the marshes right near the beginning once you get outside of Midgar. So that is going to be awesome. This is the boss you fight at Juno. That's going to be great. Right after that dolphin minigame. You can see the party there. Looks like we got everybody. The question is, when do you guys think Yuffie joins the party? And there she is, speaking of. Interesting to see the marshes. Yeah, for sure. This is a team attack with Yuffie and Barrett. They're looking so cool, man. Could be a standard hospital interior. Yeah, totally. Could be. This gets crazy, though. Yeah, he literally picks up Yuffie. Or she jumps on him, I should say. And then he throws her at the enemy. It's so awesome, man. And they've said that the team attacks are going to be really, really in depth, in that everybody's going to have a skill tree. And they said you're really going to feel like the characters' bonds are growing, like as they do more team attacks and stuff, which makes me think of a couple things. They're probably either going to do it with a skill tree where you can like unlock different team attacks, which I think would be so smart, right? Because there's so many possibilities for that. And it would really give a level of like a feeling of progression as you go through the game. It's like, okay, I want to develop Barrett and Yuffie. They're a really good team. And kind of see where that goes. Yeah, there's just so much possibilities. And again, to make the game feel full like that, we got exploration, we got this, we got mini games, we got progression, we got character attacks. Like, it's gonna be really full, you know. This one is one of my favorites though. It's Aerith and Ket Shi, and he like eats her magic and then does this like Kamehameha, spits it out. That's so fun, man. No party member is gonna be optional from now on. Wait, what does that mean? Oh yeah, for sure. Like, there's no way you miss Yuffie in this game, right? They actually confirmed that this is what they are doing on the PlayStation blog in regards to skill tree dual techs. So wait, what do you mean? You're saying that you can kind of unlock specific team attacks? That's really fun. Yeah, this one, of course, is the one that made us all lose our minds. Cloud and Sephiroth, and look at that shot. I mean, come on. It's so juicy. Like I said yesterday, they switched to probably like a 16 millimeter focal length for this, just to fit both of the huge swords. And you can see there's actually a bit of distortion there in the perspective from that lens being so wide. And it just is such a cool image, man. And they have to use that lens a lot when Sephiroth is around if he holds up his sword. So, what's up, Cat Fu? Ket Shi looks awesome. I thought the teddy bear thing would look weird. Yeah, it looks great. It looks fantastic. I thought the same thing. Like, how do you do that? But I love that.
Wow, Phil.
Hey, Red Penguin.
So cool. I'm so glad Chad is behaving themselves.
Philip 7 Luigi dance.
Thank you so much for the 3 months, Red Penguin. I appreciate you. Look at that Luigi dance. That music better be some badass boss music. Oh, definitely. So what's significant here is music starts to crescendo here. Yeah, it's so well edited, man. But no, I mean, I love how they're leaning in to that stuff. And I guess what I mean is, like, look at Wall Market in part 1, right? A lot of people were like, how are they going to handle that? What is going to happen? Does it even work in the year 2020? Like, I don't know, man. Does it work? Does it not work? And then not only did they pull it off and make it work, it's like 10 times better than the original. Anyone who tells you otherwise is crazy. It's amazing. It's like a whole TV episode or 5. You know, it's like an anime tournament saga mixed with all this fun and dancing. It's amazing. Dressing up and everything. It's so much fun. So I love how they leaned into it. That was their fix. They're like, we're gonna make Wall Market even crazier, even more fun, even more ridiculous, and just completely insane and over the top. And they did the same thing here. It's like, no, we're not going to try and make it look like super. It doesn't have to be cool all the time or realistic. It's like, no, we're going to lean into it. Make him just as crazy as the original, you know? I love this emote. Thank you, man. I love that one too. I got another couple funny ones there. The Sword Divas. After how they pulled off Wall Market, I have complete faith. I agree. Yeah, nothing but faith. The whole first game, I was like, oh, this is all better. You know, take off the nostalgia goggles for a second if you're struggling with that. Like, it's all better, man. We got real performances now. It's fantastic, you know? It's like Roger Rabbit, yeah. But no, I love this shot. Like I said, you talk about the lensing all day, but it's just such a cool thing to see. This is, of course, the flashback that I spoke of. When the game starts, you're going to get a little flashback to several years ago, and you're going to see what's going on with Sephiroth and Cloud. What happened? And here you go. Here's that flashback. And this is, of course, a team attack. What I love is, I feel like this has to be like, you know, Sephiroth willing it, just to like screw with Cloud or something. They go to strike the enemy dodges, and they actually clash swords right here. Sephiroth has his shampoo commercial, which is hilarious. My buddy Cloudy McDoom just did a funny skit on that. And then Cloud looks, like, what the heck? And then they go back to slicing him up and do like an X strike right at a Chrono Trigger. It's amazing. It's amazing. And this is all one team attack, right? So now what's interesting is this boss is the Materia Keeper who comes at a different point in FF7. But I love that they're giving us stuff to fight with Sephiroth. And of course the question, is he playable? Yes, he is. He is in this section. And Nomura said in an interview, he's like, yes, just like the original Flashback. In that context, he will be playable in the same way. So it's really exciting. Their stats are comparable. That's a good point. Yeah, Sephiroth definitely has the higher stats here. But I assume if he's going to have a little bit more gameplay time with him, maybe they didn't want to make him just completely one-shot everything. So I assume how they'll do this is they'll make a cutscene where Sephiroth does just that. He one-shots like 20 monsters or whatever, saves Cloud and does all that. It shows the power differential is so ridiculous. But then when you're using him, he's not just completely broken. Because if you're going to have like a whole level with him, it might get a little old if you just, okay, why am I even fighting these battles? It's just dead. The most loving look ever, yeah. Sephiroth, that's funny. But that's just so much fun, yeah. And now here we have Alexander, who's one of the awesomest summons. He's actually not in Final Fantasy 16, is he? Alexander, yeah. He's particularly known in FF9 because he has a huge role in the story in that one. Well, I should say a big scene in that one. He looks awesome here, man. What a cool take on the design. And then we have Kujata, which has a bit of a redesign here. He looks amazing. It looks really cool if you look closely there. I think like the first frames are the best. Yeah. It looks so sick. Yeah, it's a good frame. Look at that. And the other thing they said in the interviews is that these summons are going to have like some of them big side quests and story elements around them, and probably side quests to earn them and everything. So that's really exciting. That's going to be cool. And I think it's worth noting, FF7 moves quite fast. The original, especially outside of Midgar, like it's moving at a furious pace, man. And a lot of the scenes are just like, a couple dialogue boxes, huge plot point drops during those dialogue boxes. Then next couple battles, more dialogue boxes, humongous scenes happening. Of course, with those like kind of Lego graphics. So this is going to be so significant because to flesh out all of that beyond just the cinematic nature of it now, having performances, having live recorded music, having all that stuff that just brings it from, it's pretty much incomparable to a different medium almost. Beyond that, just sort of the art of it, it's going to make the world feel so much more alive, I personally think. He has multiple eyes. Oh, yeah, he does have multiple eyes. That's a good catch. Yeah, he has like 2 heads, doesn't he? This looks like a second nose right here and a second head. That's so fun. Alexander was in a combat sim. Chadley will be involved. Oh, that's a good point. Chadley's going to come back. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I think they're going to put Fort Condor in. So the question is Fort Condor going to be in? Or is it going to be a minigame from the DLC, Fort Condor? Honestly, I'm fine with either. I'm fine with Fort Condor being like, they see it and they talk about it on the way by because there's not really any story there. Again, like literally a couple dialogue boxes involved with Fort Condor beyond the minigame. So it's like, I'm fine with, they camp there or something, like I'm close to it in the distance. Barrett tells the story, how it's important to fight against Shinra. These people were at war with Shinra. They got screwed up. Like, who knows? Maybe Fort Condor will be there and they'll join Wutai in the resistance against Shinra. Like there's a lot of possibilities there. Yeah, I think either way it'll come back because that minigame was awesome. That was really fun. Super addictive, yeah. You can also advance the story and head back to old areas on a whim like FF16. Yeah, that's what I heard. You can head back. So there'll be some sort of fast travel system. But hey, man, I mean, you got the damn vehicles and you got flying chocobos, a dune buggy. Like, it seems it's going to be fairly easy to get around as it is. So it makes sense. You can probably just drive back if nothing else. But that's, you know what they'll probably do? I just realized. If they do have a true fast travel system, like between Gold Saucer and the Chocobo Farm, obviously right at the beginning of the game, after Nibelheim, you get the Chocobo Farm. They'll probably introduce the Chocobo mechanics and how that works, right? It even said that in the thing. It's like once they get to a grassy area, you can use chocobos. They probably introduce that, and you know, you can maybe go back to the farm at any point and tweak your chocobo, get a new one, take a new one out, whatever. That'd be really fun. What impressed me in terms of graphics is that some designs are so crazy you would think they work in a realistic style. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They and that's why I am glad. Like there was a point where I was like, I kind of wish they went a little more realistic style. Like it was right when it was right around the time Remake was first teased. I was like, oh, so they ended up going with that style. But I'll tell you, I'm really glad they stuck with this style. They didn't go fully photo real with even like the character faces and bodies and hair, because it has a stylization to it that is really fun and unique. And if you go too realistic with games, sometimes they lose a little bit of that charm. I think like the next step up is like Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, right? So the next step up is like it's less anime. They literally just like look like real people, you know? And oftentimes it can look a little weird. Yeah, or like Kingsglaive. Exactly. Kingsglaive is a freaking masterpiece as far as like visual fidelity. Photo-real people. But it looks kind of weird at times when you're doing like these kind of like anime moves and stuff. Just completely photo-real. It looks kind of odd at times. There's like a strange feeling to it. And this is the reason a lot of us love animation in general. Not just animation in general. Is you can take a stylized art, visual style, and run crazy with it and create your own vibe and everything. So I do like that they settled on this. I think it's a great choice. Anyways, Kujata is wrecking people. Oh my god, it's actually 3 different heads. Look at that. Yeah, 3 different heads. There's 6 eyes. That's so fun. That is a good frame of it, yeah. What a cool design, man. Nomura once said, we won't believe how much content they stuffed into this game. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, right before you got here, I think. He's like, yeah, you won't believe how much we packed, like in the amount of time or something he said, right? Like between the first game and this. Like, so that's a big flex to say. Like you're quite confident if you drop a comment like that. Yeah. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, and there's Odin. Of course, Odin is Barnabas in Final Fantasy 16, right? Like, awesome to see similar style. And of course, he has Sleipnir, his horse, 8-legged horse in this, 6-legged sometimes in different media, different depictions. And he's just going absolutely crazy there. Yeah, and it says actually on the official site, Odin has Gugnir too, which is his fabled spear from Norse mythology, which is really cool. Oh, he has 6 legs in the OG. And now he has 8 legs. Sleipnir. Remake would look like a mini game compared to part 2. Yeah, totally. This game may shake the industry. Yeah, it's really exciting, man. Like, and again, we just live in a juicy time for gaming, man. Like, what is going on this year? We got Tears of the Kingdom, FF16, Baldur's Gate 3. This is coming out in a few months. There's just I'm forgetting like 20 different games, right? There's so many good games. What's up, Jedge? Good to see you, man. But there's so many good games, man. It is a lovely time to be a gamer in general, and an FF fan. I think it is the best time ever, quite honestly. Just because like Final Fantasy fans have had to go through a lot of like different juicy year indeed. Yeah, Sam's working on what? Tears of the Kingdom, just like me. Baldur's Gate 3, 16. I know I'm forgetting more. What else came out this year? Yeah, Armored Core, dude. I haven't even played Armored Core yet. I've been wanting to. Sea of Stars, there's another one. Spider-Man's coming up. That's a humongous anticipation for a lot of people. Starfield. Ah, man, there's so many games people have been excited about. And I would say it's like probably the best year in the last decade where there's been so many games that have just scored so well with people. Like there's a lot of games that have a lot of people anticipating them, but then they don't always deliver. Like, a lot of times people are like, man, this game sucks. It just sucks. So many games are delivering, man. It's been awesome. FF14 is coming out. Yeah, FF14 comes out a little bit too, the next expansion. do you plan to watch the Kitase Nomura stream at Tokyo Game Show? Oh, absolutely. They're gonna do a stream. I didn't even know that. We'll probably stream that live if I'm available. Yeah, let's do it. We're in the golden age of RPGs. Yeah. So yeah, it's like Final Fantasy fans have had to go on through a lot of like sort of stark differences in periods. And what I mean by that is this is kind of the ultimate time to be a Final Fantasy fan. For example, I mentioned FF12. FF12 feels like 16. It's very Shakespearean. It's very high. It's very lofty in its storytelling. It's quite serious. There's jokes just like 16, but the jokes are like they're very clever. They're very like kind of highbrow. You know what I mean? It's not like kind of visual humor, like slapstick stuff. Just like in 16. Like there was a really funny joke in 16 the other day when I played it. Hey, was that you? I thought it was supersonic. I thought it was coming out of the computer. Unicorn Overload. Oh my god, Unicorn Overlord. Is that the ogre battle game? Dude, it looks like an ogre battle game, right? I got real excited when I saw that. 100 booths of this game. Oh man, I wish I could go to Tokyo Game Show so bad. Yeah, what's up, MF Pierce? Yeah, man, that game got me way too excited. I love Ogre Battle. I still got to finish Tactics Ogre on stream with you guys though. We'll do that probably after we beat 16. Anyways, yeah, where am I going with this? So, Final Fantasy fans have gone through a lot of stuff. So, but the thing is, like, FF12 was the newest Final Fantasy for like 5 years or something, because that's when we got into the PS3 era, and it takes so long to make HD games, right? By the time 13 comes, like, there's so much anticipation and pressure on this game to be a certain thing, and it was like very, very strong in its own aesthetic, which I think it's awesome. Like 13 is a bright, beautiful, soft. The music is so like emotive and enjoyable and kind of like very bright is the word I keep using. But anyway, it's so different from 13, right? It's a completely different vibe from 13. But then because games take so long to make, 13 is now the newest Final Fantasy for so long. So like anybody who wants to get into the series, it's like, oh, what's the newest one? 13. Looks alright, doesn't really vibe with me though. If that was your reaction, you know what I mean? You got to wait so long. So I think why we're in such a strong, and the same thing with 15. It's been since 2016, 15 came out. Finally with 16, we're in a period where we're getting 16, which is that like dark fantasy, you know, awesome, gritty feel. But you got 7 Remake coming out at the same time. And you got all this other stuff coming out at the same time. So it's like you kind of get the best of both worlds. And even if you're a fan who only likes some of that stuff, you get to kind of dip into the one you like. So it's just such a strong time to be a fan. What's up, Disciple? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Playable demos. Oh, man, it's going to be sweet. Yeah. There are multiple FFs. Yep. Yeah, and that I guess that's what I mean. If you were a fan who kind of like, if say the game came out and didn't really match your expectations, just wasn't your vibe, okay, like see you in a decade, it's like I'm probably just gonna not be a fan anymore, right? But now it's like, yeah, wait a few months, got a whole new Final Fantasy coming out, so I think it's a great time. Anyways, let's continue. This is Odin destroying people, as we said. He looks awesome, actually. Let's go back a couple frames. Yeah, look at that. He looks super cool. He actually kind of has almost an FF13 vibe. Not gonna lie, yeah, he looks cool. Look at that. Look at the particle effects too, man. Look at the depth of field. Very shallow here. It's so nice looking. The lighting too. They have a full dedicated lighting team in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you can tell because damn, it looks good. Yeah, really, really nice depth of field. It's probably I'd say like a 1.6 aperture. Looks great. This may have been one of my favorite moments, though, as we go to this next section here. Camera shake. Yeah, very, very well done, Jedge. Very well edited with that camera shake, too, and the particles. And oh, juicy. So, this may have been the most hyped I got, which is funny because there's so much in this damn trailer. But there you go. Chocobo Square. Battle Square. You can see all the classic areas up there. That is literally the same shot from the original game. And that's so much fun, right? On the gondola. And it looks so great. It looks so real, man. It's like the gritty, rusted side of this thing and everything. And I mean, come on. They look so awesome. Like Cloud sitting there looking like a proud parent, you know, taking his kids to the theme park. Speaking of opposite vibes from FF16, gold saucer. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like the ultimate opposite of FF16, gold saucer. I love seeing Yuffie, Tifa, and Aerith. Yeah, and this is what I mean. So this is why I constantly say Chuck E. Cheese. That's funny. This is why I constantly say, on the one hand, I will also say you can never compare the originals to this. They're pretty much two different mediums, right? But on the other hand, I will say as someone who loves film and spends a lot of time creating it and everything, it's already surpassed the original, guys. You know why? Because we never even saw the human beings like this in a scene. Even the CG scenes were like very rudimentary anime blocky designs and stuff. Look at that. Like that shot right there. Boom. It already surpasses the original. You know? That's it. Look at that. That's wild. And I guess my point is like it goes far beyond just seeing them too. If you play the original, which I know a lot of you have, how does Tifa and Yuffie interact on a normal basis when they're traveling the world? You can't answer that because it never happens, right? Beyond the scene where they meet and she calls her boobs, right? She's like, hey, boobs, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. That's it. So it's like you can kind of speculate, you can imagine, you can do whatever, but like that's it. Yeah. So this alone, look at this. You could almost get like a older sister vibe with these two right here, right? Like that's new. Never seen that before. Like that's my point. It's so cool to see all this. Slayferoth, yeah. The Yondel's beat up, yep, just like the original. How you doing, Khaleesi? Good to see you. Killing it. This shot always gets one of the biggest reactions. Yeah, there's something about that, and for me, that's always been like I said about Remake Part 1. I've said it a million times now, right? You guys who have seen me play the game, my reactions. My favorite moments for that game has just been like some of the quiet scenes when they're talking and stuff. When you just get like Cloud and Tifa, I think it's in Chapter 3. Talking about whatever, the past and everything. And it's like, oh God, that's when it hit me. Like, oh, they really did it. Yeah. They made them human beings. This is amazing. Like they're real characters. It's like I'm reading my favorite book. It's like I'm watching a film. They're characters now. They're characters. And a lot of the reason people love the original so much, just like me, is because your imagination fills in so much. So much, even more so than Final Fantasy VIII because they look more photoreal in FF8, more like human proportions. So it's a very special game for a lot of people. But those moments are the ones that just made me go like, oh man, this is awesome. Like it's one of my favorite stories ever. And to see it with this visual fidelity, by the way, motion performance capture is the proper term. Performance capture, facial capture, voice acting, like it's crazy, right? And those things alone are just like blow my mind. It's been the coolest thing to experience. Trust in Nojima's writing, definitely. Yeah, it was amazing in the first part. Seeing Yuffie have more interactions, right? That's what I mean when I say more. Right? They never interacted beyond the intro and a couple of like interchangeable side quests. Yeah, looks like in our heads. Yeah, Judge just said it, right? This is the first time it's like that's what that scene looked like. I never even pictured how they'd be standing inside the damn gondola, you know, with the 4 pixels wide that it was. The tweet about Yuffie said, just as working alone begins to take its toll on her. Yeah, I saw that. It's very interesting. I mean, obviously Yuffie is like, I love this change, by the way. Yuffie in Remake is an elite operative, which makes sense. Like, what is she doing behind enemy lines, like breaking into this? It makes sense, right? But even then, she's a younger person. I don't think we know her age yet in this, but you know, she's like everybody's ages have changed a little bit in Remake. I think everybody's been a little bit older than they were in the original, but like she's clearly younger than everybody still. Like, right? And it's a lot to like be out there alone after a traumatic experience and stuff. So it's really cool they're playing that up. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. Matthew Girardi, welcome. Good to see you. Micro expressions. Yeah, and that's what I mean. This is the advantage of performance capture. Like these were 4 people in a room that acted the scene, and to have that alone is so much, man. And I think a lot of people are just because you know the plot of the original are completely consumed and obsessed with the plot. Period. They do not care about anything that happens with what I'm talking about. The beautiful art of what's happening, what's coming alive from countless hours of hundreds of people toiling away at it. Like that gets put aside because they're so concerned with the exact plot being the exact same and stuff. And it's a shame because look at this, you know, it's art. I'm really looking forward to how they show the group's loss. Yeah, totally. And they become a family. Do we have any Aaliyah subscribers in the chat? Let's get some Vin Diesel. Let's get some Vin Diesel emotes in the chat. I'll do it myself if I gotta. Where is it? Yeah, Vin Diesel. Let's get some family. Family. Flex them if you got them, guys. 16. Wait, did they confirm 16 in this version? Yeah, they did age everybody up then. 'Cause I think she was younger than that in the original. No, she was like more of a kid. Yeah, that's awesome. They confirmed it though. Yeah, looking forward to how they show, and that's gonna be cool because again, like to see how that's gonna interact with kind of this. Oh, it was 16 OG. Okay, so we don't have an age yet. Matthew the Conqueror came through too. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Anyway, if we have an age or not, my point is this shot kind of hit me. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be so cool. I could easily see Tifa kind of taking her under her wing a little bit. I'm like, yeah, it's like a little sister. Let's look out for her. Let's teach her some stuff. Let's train together. Both martial artists, right? I could see Yuffie and Aerith butting heads a lot. Her trolling her constantly is there. Maybe both of them. So I think there's just so much opportunity for funny stuff. Like think about Barrett and Yuffie. I think it's gonna be the funniest clash. Which again, there's no lines with those two in the original, and if they are, they're optional, right? It might be someone else you can put in the scene. So that's gonna be hilarious. Something we've never seen, and it's gonna be like 90% of this game is just the characters interacting on the journey. So I think that's why it's so significant. And yeah. I'm so excited to see Vincent integrating with the group. Yeah, that's going to be crazy too. Speaking of Vincent, we're almost there. But I think this is so funny how Cloud's just like classic Cloud, right? He's trying not to act excited, you know, going to the theme park. Yeah. And the girls are super pumped about it. Vincent and Red. Oh, you're so right. That's going to be such a good team up. I had a fun theory in my head. Tifa and Aerith, who give her the belt, they feel protective of her. that is a really good theory, actually. Yeah, I love the new kind of like Vambrace thing that she has though. The armor looks like kind of like samurai armor. I love how they made it look more like the kind of layered samurai armor. I don't know the exact Japanese terms for it, of course, but that kind of like plate mail that the samurai have where it layers on top of each other. They made it look more like that. That's so smart. Because in the original, it's just like a blob, which they obviously did to make it easier to animate. So it's cool to see it. We got that blob thing in the DLC, and now we can get this sort of like upgraded, more practical armor. The FF Wiki lists UV as a 9 through 15. It's just okay, in the OG, I got you. Yeah. The Haunted Hotel. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Can we see it in the background with Ket reveal? Maybe actually. It's a good point. More options for Gold Saucer date. Throw in Ketchy. Yeah, I really think they should do everybody. I think it'd be funny. I don't know how they're gonna like score it if it is everybody, but I think the group date is also. Oh, I think I remember saying this a long time ago, Judge, like years ago at this point. We talked about Gold Saucer a lot back then, and I remember saying something like that. Like, imagine if they had just so you see everybody dressed up, doing their thing, having fun together, but then during that. I think it'd be a lot cooler if like at the end of the night, you were like, anyways, everybody's going to bed. And then maybe the person who you scored highest with or whatever comes up to you and is like, hey, you want to stay out a little bit longer? Have some time to ourselves? Like that would be really fun. That would be really fun. Or maybe just make it so you can choose, right? I've heard of Cloud a long time ago when I was a kid. I didn't know where he came from. That's the beauty of this remake, Matthew, right? Dude, the Cloud Barrett date scene is going to go so hard. Legendary. They said the Gold Saucer date scenes are important to them, that they'll be there too. Yeah, they're going all in, man. They're going all in. And the Cloud Barrett date in the original game was a revelation, to say the least. A revelation. So I guarantee it's going to be wild in this one. Non-negotiable. Yeah, listen, this is what has excited me about all this. Like, they know the fan favorite moments and wall market.
Wow, Phil, your stream is so cool. all. I'm so glad Chad is behaving themselves.
Thank you so much, Tone, for the 2 months on a 1 month streak. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Wall Market was upset. So my point is, what did they do with Wall Market? Fan favorite moment. Everybody's waiting to see it. Everybody's like, oh, what's it going to be like? How are they going to do it? What do they do with it? It becomes this completely expanded, like, let's lean into it. Let's make it a masterful, like, hours long experience. Like, insane. I couldn't believe how much of it. So the fact that that should show you how they're treating the fan favorite moments and the moments that they know people want to see remade. It's really exciting. I think you should have full faith. And this is why I personally never, like, a lot of people said they didn't like how they handled the sort of like extra scenes at the end of part 1, which is funny because that is only to be decided on how the whole story ends, right? Like, if you liked how it turned out. But anyway, it's more the theory side of the world, which I love theories just as much as anyone. But of course, my focus has always just been on enjoying the characterization, the writing, and the filmmaking stuff. But I think it's great. Because that scene was never like a fan favorite moment that's talked about all the time. Oh yeah, like that like 2-second screen at the end of the highway, best scene in the game. Like, nah, nobody says that, right? So the fact that they kind of expanded on that and made it this very crazy, like, awesome scale thing, is great. And I guess my point is, it doesn't affect any of the other scenes. It did not change the story at all. So that's always been my stance on it. And they still respected all of the fan favorite scenes up until that point, you know? The major turning point. Not only was Wall Market a fun spectacle, but it was a slap dab in the middle of the story. Yeah, and they used it to continue to develop the characters, to show, everybody growing as characters. And so I thought it was very well done. Gold Saucer side quests. Oh man, we're gonna see it in just a second, right? So we're gonna continue to work our way through this. I mean, look at that again. Unbelievable. Like, better graphics than Advent Children. And we're going to talk about a little bit more of the pre-rendered stuff at the end. She looks like such a little kid right there. That's so fun. Look, we're at Disney World. Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, from the posture too. Like, it seems like Tifa really is like taking her under her wing. That's awesome. From the body language. Besides Cloud, another Final Fantasy character I heard was Sephiroth in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Hey Matthew, that's a good game to learn about Sephiroth. Smash Bros. I love him. I'm somehow the best with him in Smash Bros. And to be honest, just because he's a better character, not that I'm better with him. He just is one of the best characters, I think. And I'm worse with Cloud, even though I'm better at playing with Cloud. He's just not that good of a character. Like, his recovery is terrible. Like, you got to really work to get a win with Cloud. There's times with Sephiroth where I'm just like, I'm probably going to lose, and just like somehow pull back and win. Anyways, we have here our boy from part 1, Andrea. He's back. Super, super smart. Super, super smart choice. Of course, he'd be dancing at Gold Saucer. Man, he is, a world-renowned dancer. They talked about it in the first part. So much fun. And he's back. Why not use these awesome characters they've created? And it looks like he's there with like the Honeybee team or something. More Cloud dance? I think so, Leah. I mean, right? You gotta have that minigame if he's there, and his like, you gotta dance again, man. And I've been saying this for years now. Like, everybody's gonna definitely have their own, especially after seeing that Costa del Sol thing. Everybody gets outfits there at Costa del Sol for the beach. Everybody gets outfits for the dates at the Gold Saucer, and we actually get confirmation of that right here with. That's Yuffie. Yeah, that's Yuffie all dressed up. Looks like she's getting like bonked by these people. I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's because Andrea. Yeah, they're having fun with Andrea. This is particularly funny though, because Aerith is clapping just like she was in Wall Market. Yeah, dance. And then Tifa's like, "What's going on?" Because she wasn't there, but she does know him from the pull-up competition, right? Deep V, low cut pants. She could taking Yuffie under her wing due to Jesse. Yeah, that's true. Favorite game of all time? Smash Bros. Ah, good choice, man. I love it. I love it. I can't wait for the next Smash Bros. It's gonna go crazy. I bet I would bet money that Tifa is in the next Smash Bros. I think they're insane not to. Anyways, this is a great shot. You can see everybody watching, and the question is though, like, I feel, does this mean that this is an example of the Yuffie choice? Because why is she only dressed up? Maybe that's what this means, right? Maybe it is the group thing we were talking about, the group date we were talking about. I think that's my theory on that, Judge. Yeah. It's that this would be an example of maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. It's interesting, right? Yuffie gets on stage and does TikTok dances. Andrea's like, get off my stage, you freak. Big brain theory. Tifa and Tekken 8. I could also see her in Tekken 8. I could also see her in both. There might be different choices. Yuffie could be part of the dance. Or you know what? Let me raise you another one. I feel like maybe they just didn't want to spoil everybody's outfits, and they just, like, for this specific shot, tweak the code so that Tifa and Aerith aren't in their other outfits yet. That's my second theory. So I say it's probably one of the two. Wall Market 2.0. Yeah, man, exactly. I've been saying that for a long time. Gold Saucer is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be so big. I was the guy who commented that's 100% me on your video of you chain punching the guy holding the empty pizza box. That's awesome, Matthew. That's a long time ago. that's amazing. You have a great memory, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was a fun video. Or it could be the person you chose will have a different outfit. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's one or the other. Either that's the choice, and they get a special outfit, or yeah, 14 team does that for the trailers. Yeah. This is, of course, Dio, the, like, bodybuilding, like, I don't even know what to call him. Not president, but owner of Gold Saucer. And he is in the dance with Andrea, I just realized, because you can see the same top hat dancers in the background, that one little frame there. So Dio's getting in. He's wearing a shirt. I mean, that's a very generous word to use for whatever he's wearing, but yeah, it appears to be some sort of covering. I assume it's like a wrestling, what do you call it? Leotard that, like, covers just as, like, a Speedo. Yeah, Speedo aficionado. He looks perfect. Right now, it's a great time to be an FF fan. Yes. It kept his flamboyance. Yeah, he looks real awesome and jacked, shredded, and juiced up, just like the original. Maybe just a vest. True. I think he's gonna have a wrestler look. That's my theory. And here we go, guys. Chocobo Racing. So I wasn't really able to get too much of a look at this before.
This is where the fun begins.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Mini games. Yeah, this is the time. But look at this. We have. I'm trying to think. Is that what was the infamous guy's name from the original? Is it Johnny? No. What's his name? What's the tough guy? The Chocobo is so hard to beat with a top hat. What's his name? Because I'm thinking, is that him right there? Because this Chocobo has a top hat on. Theo. Yeah, it was Theo, right? That son of a bitch is so hard to beat in the races. 8-hour stream of minigames. Oh, dude, this is going to be... That's dude Nomura said in an interview. He's like, we really think there's going to be a lot of people who completely forget about the main story for a long time and are just, like, doing side quests, minigames, like, for hours upon hour. It sounds just like Tears of the Kingdom, which is a very good thing. Very, very good thing. And I'm going to be really impressed if they can take a game like this, which is so story driven, so deeply like cinematically rich, which Tears of the Kingdom is not. If they can take a game like this that is so narrative driven and still infuse that much, like, side quest and fun into it, like, that's a tough thing to do, and it's been rarely done successfully. So I think if they nail that, or was it Tio? Yeah, however you spell it. Joe. Oh man, Joe was tough as well. Yeah. The Chocobo race in the bottom right is Chocobo feathers on it. So yeah, this is what we're gonna look at. Let's look at the controls here. We have okay, this is like Mario Kart, I think. like the more of these like fruit things you collect, the faster you go, because it says speed 6. So it looks like he's collecting these things. First lap, second lap, third lap. Yeah, it looks simple enough. There's courses. Dash. Looks like you have dashes you can use, like when you feed the chocobos or whatever. Speed burst. Like there's a lot of mechanics happening here. And of course it shows the map and everything. And it looks like this is, I would assume there's going to be multiple courses just because they're going so hard on this. I mean, there was multiple courses in the original, like a long one and a short one. So reminds me so much of PS1 Chocobo racing game and Chocobo GP. Hey man, Chocobo GP died a horrible death. So this is awesome, right? To see them use some of that know-how and implement it in a better way. Love it. But it looks awesome, yeah. It looks so much fun. And he's hauling too. This, of course, is like that punching mini game, and of course they went with the original polygons for this, which is so much fun. I mean, come on, look at that. It's so charming. If people haven't played the original, this is literally how the game looked, which should explain to you why I keep harping on the graphical difference being so ridiculously extreme. And it looks really fun. Yeah, the OG polygon models. They look good too. They look awesome. Something I've talked about, this is a little bit off topic. Something I really hope in this game is, not that I hope, but I think would be cool, is if they let you switch party members for exploration. I doubt they'll do it, but I really hope they do, because it would be so much fun to see, like to traverse the world as Tifa, to traverse the world as Barrett. I do still hope they do that in some capacity, because it would bring the whole other element. Can you do that in Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, you can. Right, Aaliyah? That's awesome. It just brings a little bit of variety to it, a little bit of gameplay variety. Again, they might not, but I really think they should, because it's just that much more fun. And, you know, games like Genshin Impact, right? What's the appeal of those games? You can pull for 70 different characters, whatever it's up to at this point, 70, 80 characters, I don't even know. And you can run around as anybody in the world map. You can switch. It just has that little bit more freshness to it and fun, a little bit variation in movement, and you get to control your favorite character outside of battle. So this game is a little bit unique because you do get to actually control them in battle. So at the worst case, you'll still get to run around, but you know, it is limited to the battle. So yeah, I really think they should. Because it doesn't seem hard at all. Everybody has running animations. Unless Cloud has like very specific things he can do on the world map, like use the Buster Sword to like chop down a tree or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But again, okay, Tifa can kick the tree down. She's like a master martial artist, magic using, you know, anybody could do it. They all have materia. They're all super powerful. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Oh God, that looks so good. G-Bike. It's so funny, by the way, saying these shots back to back, like this polygon and then, looks so awesome, man. Yeah, target score, total score, nitrous boot. Yeah, it looks very similar to the first games, which is great. It's gonna be super fun. Oh, and he has like a, oh, never mind. I think he has the same bike. Now this is where things get crazy. That was an insane minigame showcase. At the outfits, I'm hoping we can change them. It's nice to change. Yeah, dude. What do you guys think about the outfits? Sorry about that. I do think they will probably allow us to change. But it makes me think they should actually add in more outfits, because the only outfits you have are fancy dress outfits for Gold Saucer. Like you saw Yuffie in kimono, and like beach Segway outfit for Cloud. That's kind of weird ones to have. Like, and it makes me think they should also add in serious outfits. And when I guess when I'm serious, just like ones that make more sense for travel. Like for example, what if everybody had like a cold jacket outfit? That would make sense for travel, right? And what if everybody had I don't know, something else outfit, like a hiking outfit or something? Like that would be cool. Or just, you know, different style armor or something. I think that could be really awesome. And again, just for that variety and stuff, not hard to add at all. It's just going to be about, do they want to implement it? The one thing I will say that does not give us a higher chance of that happening is this: the pre-rendered scenes. Like the gondola shot, for example, is appears to be pre-rendered. So again, I don't think they should make that big of a deal of it. Like, I personally don't care. It's not going to break my immersion if I have a different outfit on Tifa and then she's, changes that. It doesn't matter to me. It's not going to destroy the story or anything. So, but I will say sometimes Square Enix gets pretty uptight about that sort of thing. So maybe not. We'll see. They did that for Lightning Returns. Hey, maybe there is hope. All right, so this scene is very significant. Everybody is, of course, looking up at that rift in the sky, whatever that is. And Zack is...
Could you look after my friend? Just for a bit.
Man, that really sounds like Rick Gomez. A lot of people said that. It really sounds like the old Zack voice actor. I don't think it is, but...
Could you look after my friend? Just for a bit.
It really does. I do think it's still Caleb. But in fact, I'd almost guarantee it is. But maybe he's kind of going a little bit more in that direction with the voice. Interesting prospect. But yeah, this has a lot of people wondering what exactly is going on here. When is this? After the fight with the Whispers? Well, that's an interesting question. You say after, which would have to have us compare the scene on some sort of timeline, which becomes very difficult because chronologically speaking, this comes before the Whispers. So even though it's after that scene, it would be before that in the past. It's a lot to unpack for sure. Next trailer is supposed to touch on this mystery. Yeah, that's what Nomura said. He's like, oh, the next one, guys, is going to be for you fans who've been keeping up with stuff. Official Zack post has confirmed he cheated death. Yeah, I love that they say cheated death, which I was tweeting about this. It implies there's going to be a consequence for that, perhaps. So yeah, super interesting. Bet for something that probably won't happen. I remember the old games used to make aesthetic changes depending on the moment of the year. What do they do that with the outfits? That would be cool. I don't exactly know what you're talking about, but that would be really cool with the old games. Yeah, but this is going to be awesome. What do you guys think? It's Kyrie. It confirms she's there. Whatever's going on with Zack, right? Really exciting.
Excuse me.
I personally love what they're doing in terms of using the new characters, right? These aren't throwaway characters. We have Andrea. We have Kyrie. Like, let's use them. Let's use them. We got citizens of Midgard that aren't just like random NPCs. Let's use them. I love it. And they're going to have a greater purpose. Zack looks awesome right there. For sure. The NPCs look really good too. They seem to have really upped the fidelity and variety of a lot of them, which is awesome. Obviously PS5. More significant role. Yeah, man. Halloween outfits. Oh yeah, that could be really fun, Pez. Yeah, that could be really fun. Zack playable. I think Zack is absolutely playable from this scene. The question is how playable and for how long and stuff. I think at the very least he'll be playable for this sort of like mini storyline that is going to function like a Laguna flashback. We've been saying this for years, right? A lot of people have been talking about it, where you kind of go back and forth a little bit, and you see what he's up to, and we come back, and then of course this later in the game, maybe we get a little bit more of an answer. There's a lot of different ways we could do it. Yeah, Jed just said that he might have his own party, which could very well be, who knows? It could be like Roche, Biggs. It could be so many different people. Glenn. A lot of different options for his party. What's up, Mason? My first thought was that when Zack comes back for Cloud in the scene, Cloud will be gone. Already told me that would make a lot of sense. Also, Kyrie is a scumbag. If you don't know, she's not a good person. She would not watch him. She would just probably throw him in like a trash bin and walk away. That's probably, Kyrie. She's a big jerk face. So she's a thief. She's a con artist. She's not like a nice person. She's like, oh, I'll take care of your friend. She's probably going to just walk away from her, be like, yeah, I don't know. I was watching him and he walked away. So she would leave him right there on the ground. See, Aaliyah's yelling at me. It's true. I'm not exaggerating. She's a scumbag. She literally cons you in the game. In the game, part 1. Yeah. My number one guess is have new party members. What'd you say? Cisne. Oh, that's so smart. That's really smart. Zack teams up with Cisne. That would be amazing. Yeah. You remember Cisne, Aaliyah? She's from Reunion. No, they're just theorizing if he gets his own party and you kind of play as Zack a little bit, it'd be cool if Cisne joins him. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Twist party member would also be Zangan. That'd be wild. That'd be so cool, man. That's Tifa's martial arts master. Yeah, look at this. This is, of course, that possible either opening CG we talked about or the welcoming ceremony. I mean, it just looks insane. Again, the visual fidelity, like, what am I even looking at? It looks awesome. Maybe some console action. That would be awesome. A Twist party member. Indeed. Just telling us what they said about supporting members. Yeah. So this is, of course, Rufus at his welcoming ceremony. But here, I'm going to be honest, guys. I am 90% sure, maybe more. This is Glenn. That's got to be, man. It's very easily is him. He even has the same style beard, and it was not quite as grown in that Sephiroth scene where he's like fights Sephiroth. I really think it's Glenn. I do. And hey, again, if you're gonna introduce new characters, let's use them. I'm all for it, man. As long as Ever Crisis doesn't have like extremely significant scenes constantly, and we have to grind for 90 hours to see him in the game and stuff. I already can't keep up with the grinding, and I don't really have an intention to at this point. Give us scenes like this. I think it's great in the big flagship thing here. What the heck is he up to? That's the question, and that's what I mean. It's fun if there's new characters and they're kind of using them, like they're useful characters. I think that's great, including Mr. G. From the other compilation are definitely going to be weaved. Yeah, totally. Genesis will be showing up. In what capacity, I can't tell you, but he's going to show up. Even if he's like a Nero DLC show up, that would be really fun. But I am of the opinion, I'll tell you guys right now, I have a theory that since the weapons woke up early, Genesis is going to wake up early. That's my theory. That's my theory. When you say Reese, do you mean Reeve? I don't believe it's Reeve at all. Reeve has completely different facial hair color. Grinding burned me out. You do the scenes. I was like, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm disappointed because I don't like gacha for the grinding. Literally dropped Genshin because the grinding is astronomical. Like it's like homework, dude. You got to grind for hours upon hours to get the character strong enough, and then you get new characters you're really excited about, but it's like you can't use them in the current story because they'd be so weak unless you better have a week of time every day to grind. It's just a lot to ask, man. With my current schedule, I know a lot of people love it, and that's totally fine. But yeah, with Ever Crisis, I'm loving the story. I want to see this stuff with Glenn. I'm loving it. Meeting young Sephiroth. I couldn't even get to the young Sephiroth meeting in my playthrough, and I played. God, it had to be 10 hours, guys. 10 hours. Dude, the grind is insane. And I'll grind to play to get through the next scene. Currently stuck at the Reno boss fight atop the plate when he's trying to drop it. Dude, I did so much grinding. Come back, get my ass kicked. Squeeze by barely to beat the next section. The next battle, get my ass kicked. And I'm like, what is this grind? It's crazy. So I'm all for a good RPG grind, man. JRPG grind back in the day. FF7 original. I remember playing the hell out of that game. Love and life, man. Grinding at Cosmo Canyon, just having so much fun. Northern Trader, getting those little ball things that drop all the ability point. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Leveling up materia. Love that. But it has to be in a very easy to understand, very quick and rewarding dopamine progression system. And it shouldn't be pay to win. Exactly. There shouldn't be a way. It's like, oh, you want to skip the grind? Because then it also makes it feel trivial and you feel kind of dumb. It's like, oh, so because I don't want to spend $200, I'm just wasting time essentially. It has a different feeling when there is an option to pay to get past it. Yeah. If you want to breeze through stuff, you need to either grind hard or pay money. Yeah. See, it's just tough. And listen, I'm super happy for them being successful with Ever Crisis. Like I said, I love it myself. but the time investment is really hard, man. It's really hard. Like I've been traveling a little bit the past couple days. Had to do some 7 stuff, or I had to get this out, had to stream a couple times, and it's like can't keep up with the grind daily. You know, there's no way. What place are you looking forward to most in this game? Ooh, it's a tough question. That's a tough question. I would probably say, like, for story reasons, almost the just Nibelheim, man. Going back there and seeing that weird mystery about what's going on. Oh, that's gonna be juicy. That's gonna be so juicy. I mean, Vincent, the mansion, and I'm gonna be honest, man. The flashback at the beginning, I am so looking forward to that. And which is funny because a lot of you would say, "What the heck?" That we probably know how it's gonna pan out. There's not going to be a lot of mystery there, but for me, it's going to be about the performances, man. To see that come to life is going to be awesome. Like, man, in Crisis Core Reunion, it was awesome, and that is not even 1/10 of what it's going to be cranked up in this. Like, Crisis Core Reunion was literally just, you know, re-recorded voice lines, no shots added, the exact camera angles, just, you know, boom, dropped into this a modified version of the remake engine. Guys, we're getting that, you know, that full cinematic tools retold. So I guess that should tell you how awesome it's going to be seeing it in Crisis Core Reunion and being like, oh, this looks real good. This is a rewrite, guys. This is a revision of that story. It's going to get better. That's what's exciting. Forgotten City. Oh, Cosmo Canyon. Yeah, man, Cosmo Canyon. You might have just nailed it with that though. The Sato backstory. Like I said, it's a I can't even call it a tearjerker. It's a full cry. It's a full crier. Bawl like a baby. It's beautiful. Damn it. A limited resource in our time. Are you talking about time? Yeah, man. Forgotten City. Phil, just a sidetrack. What do you feel about saves not importing over to Rebirth? I'm personally fine with it. I've never been super adamant about it. I will say they did say something about like they're going to do something special for us, people who completed Rebirth. They said, or sorry, who completed Part 1. Doesn't really make a big deal to me. Again, I'm in it for the story, and I'm gonna be honest. I was really OP in Remake. I'm glad, man. Like it would kind of suck to come over and have all those like broken materia what do you call it, combinations we had for like the hard mode battle arena against like what the hell is his name, not Nero, but what is his name, assist me, what's his name, somebody the white, that guy. Oh my god, like we had to break the game wide open with materia combinations and all this other stuff, the goat and Damarung and all. Insanity. If we came over into this game with that and it's just like press X to win. Yeah, Vice. Thank you. Vice the Immaculate. That was his name. Yeah. Everybody's name is White the White, Blue the Blue, Red the Red. Yeah, you see my point? Like, it wouldn't be fun. That's what I was saying in the Sephiroth flashback. Like, good. I don't need him to be at, 80,000 HP or whatever. It's completely broken. Like, I still want to play as Sephiroth. It's going to be fun. If it's just click X and everything dies, that's not really playing as him, So, me personally, I'm totally fine with it. It's going to be great. Played Remake on PS4, is on PS5. What's up, Premiere? Good to see you. That just made me think of Barrett backstory. Oh, dude, I was saying it earlier, subtext. I'm so sorry, I hit the mic. That is going to hit people like a ton of bricks, man. I think a lot of people sleep on the Barrett backstory in general because the game is just so stacked with insane stuff. And it's quite an intimate backstory, Barrett's. But damn, when that's come to life and acted and performed and John Bentley's on there, like, oh man, it's gonna break us. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, Vice, that's right. Yeah, and again, like that doesn't sound fun. Like it doesn't have completely maxed out materia and start the game. Like what's fun about these games for me is progression. Like I want to start out and get all this stuff. And again, I suspect they will give us kind of like a dummy set of materia to start with. That's like, okay, they got through Midgar or whatever. And that's fine. Give us like whatever, Fire 1, not Firaga, and Cure. Like, give us some stuff. But that's it. I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine with it. And maybe they'll give us our limit breaks from Part 1. Maybe they won't. Maybe we'll get them again. Like, who knows? You get Leviathan and Rama for carryover. Oh, they actually said it? That's really fun. They give you some summons. Love that. Vice 360 turn with Aerith. Oh, Premiere, you were there for that? That was so funny, man. I kind of forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie. That was so ridiculous, man. I'm so glad you guys were there for that. I somehow dodged, like, I went into like the slow-mo and somehow dodged Vice's attack, and I had to like just tap him with Aerith. I can't remember what was going on. It was like, I die if I don't do this. And I somehow dodged this thing with Aerith. He was like the slowest, like not athletic dodge, and then just like tapped him or something. It was amazing. Who will voice Dine? I don't know, but man, it's got to be somebody who can really bring the emotion for sure. Yuffie can steal the material at the beginning. Yeah. Which backstory hits the hardest? Red, Barrett, Sid, or Vincent? I'm going to put Vincent at the bottom of that list just because we've not really had a chance to see it fully fleshed out. I think in this it could hit the hardest if they deliver on that and, like, you know, expand it and write it. Because Vincent's, like I said, Lucrezia's motivations are the hardest to understand. Like, I get it, but I don't. You know, it's quite hard to understand, and the humanity of it. So I think if they improve that, it's gonna be really good. Barrett, oof, man, Sid is so good though too. I'm gonna actually put Sid on the highest in that list. Man, Sid's backstory is amazing. I know they're gonna deliver on that too. So Barrett having a hard expression on his face. I agree, Judge. Yeah, I agree. I thought the same thing. Where was that shot actually? Is it after this? Where was that shot of Barrett? It actually might be coming up. Anyways, let's continue through the trailer as we talk. Great conversation, guys. Thank you all for keeping the awesome questions coming too. Same as the Yuffie DLC. Right. Thinking Patrick Sells, Troy Baker. Is Troy Baker in this yet? I guess he's not. That would be good. That would be really good. Yeah, a little bit of like maybe a southern take on Don. I don't really know what accent they suspect to give him. I could see that though, like kind of the mining town. I could see him going something like that. Southern, I'm not really sure. Have more emotional story beat with their backstory. I mean, listen, you guys saw our interview with John Eric Bentley, the voice of Barrett. He has such a deep and rich understanding of the character. He talked about, he's like, listen, how did I come up with this voice? He's like, I know everything about this character. I played the original. He was like, Barrett's a working man, dude. He worked in the mines. He's got to have a loud ass voice where he's yelling at people all day, like through the mines and stuff. And I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that. It's really awesome. He said that. So I can't wait to see this backstory for those reasons. Like, he has a deep understanding of this character, and it's really important to him, you know? It's not in the trailer. I posted it on Discord. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because I saw that screenshot, and I was like, where did I see it? That's awesome, man. Thank you for that. Sid's cussing. Oh yeah, Sid's cussing is legendary at this point. So Barrett, Red, Sid, Vincent. It's a good order. Subtext. The official images. Yeah, I think you're right about that because Barrett looked real intense. I loved your interview with John Eric Bentley. Thank you, Red Penguin. Yeah, me and Aaliyah had a blast with that. We still can't wait to meet him in person at a con or something. It'd be awesome. Just came up with a random thought. What's that, Alchemist? We'll see Barrett with both hands. Yeah, you can see him in the flashback. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna hit hard, man. And then that's what I keep saying. Like, it's different when you see Lego characters, but like the writing's just really good. So you're like, whoa, that's crazy. What an intense backstory. It's gonna hit, man. It's gonna hit. You know, when you see that humanity to it, and you see that mocap and everything. Ugh. What do you think of this shot on screen? Bait to yours? Yeah, it is 100% bait to think it's the live stream, iconic live stream scene with Cloud and Tifa. This is just something going on. Either they're in a visual representation with Bugenhagen of what's going on with the planet, and this is Bugenhagen talking about the weapons, or it's something else like that. But let's check it out.
Tutelary creatures, set only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
I think it's actually Red who's speaking here. But that is definitely, I think, Sapphire weapon. Yeah.
Larry creatures, said only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
So creepy, man. So cool looking. And I think also the scale here is really weird. This thing is a lot bigger than what we're witnessing. I think she's like looking into a crystal ball type thing. You know, I think this is like the VR thing they experienced, like the weird memory glitch thing that went on in the what do you call it, terrarium, planetarium in Shinra with the ancients. That's what I think this is. And it's probably Bugenhagen since Red is talking, or it could just be another thing. Like maybe they fell into some live stream pool or something and saw the weapon wake up. But no, I don't think it's the end, because why would she be seeing this weapon there if it is the live stream scene? Right? That doesn't make sense either, because at that point the weapons are already well awake, and we know the weapons wake up earlier now from the synopsis I read at the beginning of stream. We will see more Scarlet. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Scarlet versus Tifa, guys. It's coming. It's coming. Maybe we get a tease. That's never been portrayed to its visual efficiency for obvious reasons. Bear it with both hands, right? Did you read that Red has a defensive ability? I did. It was like, was it called Revenge or something? Sounds really fun. A miniature effect? Yeah, it's just, I think she's like viewing a visual of it. If like it's not to scale, because that thing is huge, man. It doesn't look that big in this. That thing is like Godzilla size. They have an opportunity to have battles with each weapon in the third game. Yeah, and I think this is my prediction. I think there are more weapons in this, and there's going to be extra ones that are super bosses in Rebirth. So maybe there's like, you know, Topaz weapon or something, and he is a super boss just in the second game. He gets wiped out, you beat him, and then in the third game you take on Diamond and all the crazy ones. Could be Bugenhagen Tor. Yeah, I think it's most likely Cosmo Canyon, because Red's there, he'd be talking to. I think that Night be in the northern crater. The weapons are waking up. It could be as well. It could be. But I think, again, the weapons are waking up earlier in this one from that synopsis I read. Anyways.
Tutelary creatures, said only to appear when the
That's
planet
awesome,
is in
man.
grave danger.
Now, here we go, of course, guys. It's Vincent time. So let's talk about it. Somebody in chat, who was it earlier in chat? Somebody made a really good point. How would... Look at the Cerberus design on the coffin. How will Vincent's team attacks work and stuff? Because you don't know Vincent's fighting style. It's definitely not what you expect. Like, it's absolutely not what you expect. Or I should say his limit breaks aren't what you expect. They say the game will end. So this is important what Alchemist just said. They say the game will end in the Forgotten Capital. I personally think they also said and emphasized in that same conversation interview that the order of destinations will change slightly. I think Forgotten Capital is going to happen a little bit later. I think that maybe Northern Crater happens, then Forgotten Capital or something like that. Just because of them harping on that. I could see that, but we'll see. Controllable Vincent limit breaks. It could be like a return to the Forgotten Capital. You know what I mean? So they kind of might have like done a play on words there. Vincent limit break. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. He did the same flip for sure. But I mean, dude, the design looks great. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Look at that. And yeah, it looks like he has, I'm trying to look at his weapon. It's like 2 frames. But the shoes definitely had a redesign, and I think they look great. This is where stuff gets crazy. When you see the coffin fly, yeah, that is the Cerberus design, which is really fun. And there he is, guys. You do, for like 1 frame, get a look at him, but it's quite, you know, motion blurred. He is flying out of there. It looks like there's actually, it could just be the lighting. It looks like there's more gold on his pants, actually. It's cool. Yeah. Deck out even the beauty sleeve. Yeah, fully dressed up. Really want Vincent to be playable as soon as possible. Yeah, I think sadly he is the most likely not to be playable in this game, but you never know. You never know. They showed him earliest, so that's actually promising. Maybe Sid isn't playable till the last game. You never know. Is it Matt Mercer voicing him? Yeah, I mean it's Matt Mercer. Unless they literally told somebody like, we need a clone voice of Matt Mercer, how he did Ganondorf. Exactly. Can you do that? And they were like, yes, that is literally my life's mission. And then that person did that thing. It's Matt Mercer, yeah. Be playable as soon as possible. Particle effects that mask his transformation in gameplay. That would be cool, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. I screamed into a camera. Yeah, I think we all did, man. It was crazy. So what's important to note here is you have like a book and a lantern and a teacup in this room. So, you know, he acts like he's getting his beauty sleep, but I'm telling you, he's chilling, man. He's got his Kobo Libra. He's reading. He's got his teacup. He's drinking some turmeric latte. He's got his little what do you use? What's it called? The frother. He's got his little frother. He's got cinnamon, turmeric, oat milk, and he's in it. And then he hears people coming. Damn, I gotta get in my coffin. He goes in his coffin. Gets all dramatic. Come in. And then they come in. Did I just hear Aaliyah wheezing? Yes. Aaliyah is always among us, even if you can't see her. She has a secret lair. Yeah. I hope Tifa sasses him like in the OG. I think they will, Matt. They've been so faithful. Yeah, you won't believe it. Tifa sasses Vincent in this. That's what makes it funny. What did she say to him in the original? It's so funny. Something about that, like he wakes up from his coffin. What did she say to him? Is he that bad? Bad? I mean, he's a little dramatic. That dude ain't drinking Folgers. Yeah, it's true. His voice is instantly recognizable. Yeah. It's Matt Mercer, like I said, unless they found a clone of his voice like and said sound like him, which would just be weird. Sid would be more likely unplayable because introduced in Rocket Town. That's true. Maybe, yeah, there's a lot of options. Are you happy with his voice? I am. I mean, I love Matt Mercer. I do. I told you guys already what I would have directed for Vincent and auditioned for Vincent as. I would have gone a little bit more subdued. But I want to be completely honest with you guys. This is absolutely not like a full assessment of Matt Mercer's take on this. Because this is him flying out of a coffin and angry. And literally, what does he say?
Dares disturb my slumber.
Yeah. He does not sound like... theoretically, he's not going to sound how he's going to be sounding when you're chatting with him at camp or something, right? So I could easily see that voice being a little bit more subdued when out of this situation. And also, this is the game that has notoriously had different takes and exaggerated takes in the trailers for whatever reason, just to kind of like emphasize the characters and kind of make them bigger and larger than life and stuff. And then a lot of the time they are a little bit more subdued when you play the final game. It's like, oh, that sounds different from the trailer. So he's being all cryptic and Tifa calls him out on it. She says something like what he's saying doesn't make sense. Yeah, I remember that. He's a goth, says Kunst. He buys expensive coffee beans. Yeah. He's got a salary still from Shinra or something. He like gamed the system. Now he's just living down here chilling. Goth visibility. Hey, what's up, Phosphorize? Good to see you. Matt Mercer. Yeah, I mean, it's Matt Mercer. Like I said, unless there's a clone of him or something, it's just him. Like, he's got a very recognizable voice to me, at least. And, I mean, it's definitely, like, he's great. I loved him in Final Fantasy 15. Man, he's in a lot of Final Fantasy games. I just realized Matt Mercer. That guy, they're just like, yes, use him again. His cape isn't torn from the bottom. Yeah, I saw that too. His cape isn't all shredded up. Like in Dirge of Cerberus, which I'm actually okay with. It was definitely cool, but I'm open to this. This looks fantastic. Orange with a coward's eye first. In the buggy, do we see Vincent in shotgun? No way. Oh, we got to go back and look in a second. Where's that buggy? Where's that buggy? You got me thinking now. Right here.
Others down there are having a little get.
Is Vincent riding shotgun?
So you heeded the call.
No freaking way. Hey, if Vincent's in that damn buggy, he's playable, man. There's no way he'd be. Oh, dude. I don't know, man. That's asking a lot. I can't see anything in there. I don't think so, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so. I see Barrett in the back of it, and maybe Red 13's tail right here, or just like a light. I think that might be Barrett. That like huge cube of a man right there. In fact, I'd say definitely Barrett. I don't know, man. I definitely can't give any. Actually, it might not even be Barrett. I think it's just the buggy's like anatomy, man. No, it is him. That's Aerith right there. Aerith's in the back seat. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. He's asleep. He's lying in the back. Vincent is the buggy. You make a good point. That actually is canon. Like, could be canon. You think it's Yuffie shotgun? Max was asked the same analysis. I'm gonna be honest. Definitely not a confirmation of Vincent. I don't know who it is, but it's literally just like a blob of pixels. Aerith is super hard to see, and she's like in the daylight. It's almost invisible, whatever's going on back there. Less than 15 miles per gallon for sure. That's funny. There's a big old Hummer. I think it's Yuffie shotgun. Either Tifa or Yuffie in the back then, and shotgun. Yeah, I could see it. But I'm gonna be honest. Look at him from the back. He has like this kind of spiky hair in the back. I don't think he had that. I didn't see it if he was there. I also don't think they would reveal it like that before he's shown in the trailer. Though it is pretty much invisible. He's strapped to the bottom of the buggy. That makes sense too. Is a better buggy shot in the official shot? Oh, okay, that would make sense because I'm not seeing anything, man.
It's upon.
This, of course. So this is significant, guys. A lot of people have been talking about this. Let me clarify for you. A lot of people have been like, what is this? We're revisiting the singularity stuff. This is the recap that they were talking about. There's going to be a recap that shows everything that happened in part 1. You're looking at it right here. And this is really cool because these are all shots that were in game before. Like literally, these are all actually I think this one shot was in the original. But then yeah, this next shot of them fighting is a pre-rendered like shot of what was going on in that battle. This is exactly what happens. Cloud runs up, jumps, does a little parkour, and boom, slams down on Sephiroth. This was in game. So this is no doubt, maybe they'll do like Advent Children style, have like Marlene narrating what happened. More likely, I'd say, is Cloud or something, but it's really cool. Vincent's hair spikier than Cloud's. It is actually.
I'm waiting, Cloud.
So, you know, we just played through that. Let's listen to the line now. This is significant.
My slumber. It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge.
The reunion when worlds merge. Very interesting, right? Guy knows he's fabulous. So cool to see them in action from another perspective. Yeah, man. The Vincent scene is so promising now, but I'm gonna be honest, it would be odd to introduce Vincent so early and not have him playable. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe he'll. A lot of people have speculated. I was talking to some of my friends earlier about it, and I said maybe Vincent will be like a boss fight in this part, and then he'll like be in and out a little bit. Then eventually he'll join. So there's a ton of ways they could do it if they had to delay him to the next game. Yeah, exactly. Part of the opening movie that is a recap. And I think that's super smart. Give us an awesome, like 5 to 10 minute, really well produced CG recap. And then boom, you know,
It's upon
before
us.
you know it,
The reunion.
everybody's caught up.
When world.
And if you think about it, like, you know, it's easily summed up. There's so much depth to the character moments that happen, but it's easily summed up what happens in the beginning. If you think about even like OG, you can pretty easily explain what happens, you know? Cloud reluctantly joins Avalanche when his childhood friend asks him to do her a favor or, you know, fulfill a promise. He does that. Along the path, they meet awesome Barrett, leader of Avalanche, Aerith, the last ancient. Like, it's really easy to summarize, man. They rescue Aerith from Shinra, assault it, and like it all kind of comes together, and if they do it with really cool CG scenes, like can kind of touch on the major beats. When worlds merge, something Sephiroth wants. Yeah, so the question is, everybody's talking about what is Sephiroth's big mission here. By the way, it's an awesome shot. Like the whispers, and so cool, man. Look at the lighting again. Lighting is so good in here. So sick. Yeah. Happen only when the timelines merge. Yeah, I'm gonna put on this put on the relaxing tunes again as we look at it. He would like the start screen for Rebirth to be with Sephiroth and Cloud in the back of the truck. Once you press the start button, it'll immediately play into the flashback without loading. It doesn't work with this recap. That's the only thing, Judge. It doesn't work with the recap. That would be definitely a creative start screen and very nostalgic and very fun. But where does this recap go? Because I really hope they don't do it Kingdom Hearts 3 style. That there's like a recap like on a separate menu that you can like watch if you want to. I hope it's the opening of the game, personally. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, yeah, that'd be cool. You can skip some of the chapters completely in the... Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know, you talk about Wall Market. Like, you can say most of these things in like 2 sentences. He then travels to Wall Market, like the, you know, whatever. Or, you know, Tifa hears about this, whatever, mafioso who's gonna drop this. There's rumors of him working with Shinra. Cloud goes to Walmart to see what she's up to. You know, it's pretty easy to explain. What's that? Oh no. Start of MGS 5. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know if it works with the recap though, Judge. I would be fine with the recap, and then they like enter into calm, which is what I suspect will happen with knowing about this recap now. Recap plays, literally we get like post integrate DLC. They walk into the room at calm, and it's like, oh, we're gonna lay low here, and then Barrett, I think is the perfect person to say, is like, all right, what's going on? You better tell me what the hell's happening. Like, what went down between you and Sephiroth? What happened 5 years ago? And then he's like, and then Tifa maybe even says like, yeah, I got to know some details myself. All right, we're just laying low. We got time. There's a storm going on or something. Boom. He said before we saw the recent trailer. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that would be a cool way to start it. And then, yeah. The reason I say that too is like the idea of the back of the truck is definitely charming, but there's another thing you have to consider is Cloud narrates and tells the backstory. So it'd be really cool if he, like, there's some really important lines he says. One of my favorite lines, in fact, he says in the original is like, as he starts the story, what can someone, I don't know if anyone knows it by heart, but he essentially says like, anything you've heard about Sephiroth, about his like strength, like he is far more powerful. Like you have no idea how strong he is. Like anything you've heard is a rumor. He's 100 times more powerful. And I think that's such a cool thing to set up. And then he goes into the flashback. But also we could see, as he says that, see maybe a clip from the First Soldier or whatever it's called, Ever Crisis, where we just saw him like toast the whole army essentially on his own. It's like, oh god, like that's what I always envisioned when he says stuff like that. So I think that's so fun with Ever Crisis that they're showing that stuff. And that's when he was a kid, so it's terrifying. But anyways, yeah, I think that could be really strong. Be really strong. But anyways, I think this is just so exciting, man. What a great time. We've definitely done a deep dive here. Of course, the theorizing at the end with worlds merging and stuff. I think, yeah, Sephiroth's plan is he's in the live stream. His consciousness is in the live stream. And he's, able to access the knowledge of the ancients, right? The power of the planet. And he's using that very cleverly here to try and orchestrate like a plan within a plan, you might say. A plan within a plan of memories, and kind of manipulate and control everybody on a different scale. And I think Zack is absolutely Sephiroth's pawn in this, unknowingly. Because think about why Zack is where he is right now. because Sephiroth had us fight the Whispers, right? So why would Sephiroth do that? So yeah, I think that's what's going on here. And I think no matter what, I stand by what I said on Twitter. I really think we all win with this, even by the end of part 3, or specifically by the end of part 3, that we get to have our cake and eat it. We're gonna get, like, this trailer really solidifies that for me. A lot of people said, you know, oh yeah, part 2 opens up, the whole story will be off the rails immediately, completely different thing, like unrecognizable FF7. You know, we'll visit the locations, but for a completely different story and narrative and everything. I completely disagreed with that and said, we're getting all of our moments, just like they say. And I think that's what's happening. Look at this trailer, man. We're going to all our favorite spots. We're getting all of our favorite moments. And we get to have our cake and eat it. We get to have amazing theories and mysteries unfolding and questions to answer while playing FF7 Remake. Like a remake of the perfect game that we loved. And it's great. Yeah, and whatever happens with Zack, I bet it's going to be just vague enough to not disavow, or I should say, like, unconfirm many of the popular theories. But it'll also make a lot of them make sense. Like, I don't think they're ever going to be like, this is exactly what happened, if that makes any sense. Like, as far as some of the premonition abilities, I personally think they're premonition abilities. Like, it's like in Dune, you know, Sephiroth and Aerith have this ability because of their relationship with the planet and the life stream, and they're using that premonition knowledge. That's what's going on. And that can happen 100% in a revision of the story from the ground up. No other stuff exists, just the remake trilogy. Compilation is gone, original is gone. This is the new story. It works perfectly. It all works perfectly. Like, you don't need to have this be a connection or continuation of the compilation. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? So just, no one says this, and it drives me crazy. Like, that makes sense, right? Am I insane? So that's where my head's at with this. And I really think no matter what, we get to have our cake and eat it. I think everybody's going to be happy at the end of this. I think you probably think I'm insane by saying that, but I really do think that's the case. They're playing it so smart. Livestream black and white novel? Yes, perhaps that too. I think 50-50 Aerith or Seth. Says Kunst. Zack might be involved in that pivotal moment. Yeah, there's that too, the merging of worlds. But then again, I want you guys to know he says the reunion is the merging of worlds, which has essentially nothing to do with the Forgotten Capital, the reunion. So that's where things get interesting. And I also think maybe that will mean Forgotten Capital happens after the reunion, which would be a little bit of a mix-up. But you never know. Looking forward to a journey with human beings. Yeah, you'll get this, just that. Anyways, guys, this is awesome. I could talk about it all night. I really could. I'm not going to, but I could. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for chatting tonight. And make sure to follow if you want to join us for the next conversation. We're going to finish FF16. We're going to go through TGS and cover all the 7 stuff. And we're probably going to finish Tactics Ogre and just continue to play awesome games. Maybe some Baldur's Gate 3 as well, with Aaliyah herself. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a great stream. Thanks for the talk.